bienvenue à l'événement Salesforce Paris qui fait partie d'un programme que Salesforce exécute dans toutes les grandes villes du monde. Nous avions ce programme à San Francisco il y a quelques semaines, à Londres, la semaine prochaine à Sydney. Et ce programme est vraiment au sujet de la transformation. Comme l'indiquait Xavier Bertrand, l'objectif aujourd'hui, c'est comment je peux transformer mon business, comment je peux partager les idées afin de révolutionner, afin d'exploiter les ruptures technologiques qui sont face à nous dans l'industrie informatique. Donc bienvenue. C'est un plaisir pour moi de venir à Paris pour faire cette présentation. C'est un peu une tradition maintenant, puisque je dirige les produits à San Francisco pour la société Salesforce. Et c'est très impressionnant, puisque l'an dernier, la même présentation qui avait lieu à la Mutualité à Paris, on avait une salle qui faisait la moitié. Donc chaque année, l'événement double. Il y a 5 ans, la première fois que j'ai fait cette présentation à Paris, on était sans doute 200 personnes. Et la moitié devait se demander ce qu'ils faisaient dans la salle. Donc c'est clairement un grand changement pour Salesforce. Alors j'aimerais tout d'abord vous poser la question dans la salle, combien d'entre vous êtes des clients Salesforce? Si vous pouvez lever la main, qu'on puisse voir la répartition. Donc à peu près 50% de la salle est client Salesforce. Donc je tiens à vous remercier pour votre confiance. C'est évidemment un chiffre impressionnant. Je tiens à vous remercier pour votre confiance. Et je tiens aussi à vous encourager au cours de la journée, au cours de ce programme, à échanger, puisque l'objectif, c'est bien entendu de partager nos expériences dans l'utilisation des technologies et dans la transformation de nos business. Je tiens aussi à remercier nos équipes marketing pour cette incroyable scène qui me permet de marcher sur un nuage, et ce setup rond qui n'est pas toujours évident pour les présentateurs, puisqu'on doit tourner autour du nuage. Donc la présentation aujourd'hui, elle est vraiment sur le thème de la rupture, de la transformation. Et j'aimerais commencer avec un slide qui est plutôt une réflexion. En fait, j'ai vendu ma société il y a 5 ans à Salesforce, une société française, et j'ai rejoint donc le siège en Californie il y a 5 ans. Et l'an dernier, j'ai pris 6 mois de sabbatique. Je me suis arrêté de travailler pendant 6 mois. C'était quelque chose que j'avais promis à mon épouse de faire le jour où je cédais mon entreprise, et ça m'a pris 4 ans pour arriver à le faire. Et pendant ces 6 mois, eh bien, j'ai réfléchi, j'ai lu, j'ai développé des applications, j'ai réfléchi à l'industrie. Et un des papiers que j'ai lu qui a résonné dans ma tête, et je voulais partager avec vous un peu cette réflexion, qui est un papier que IBM a produit, qui est l'issue d'une enquête auprès de 1800 patrons d'entreprises. Et ce papier résume très bien la rupture qui s'offre à nous. Et on a tiré quelques extraits de ce papier, qui est vraiment, pendant des années, les systèmes d'information étaient vraiment un travail d'optimisation des process. On mettait en place des bases de données et on optimisait les process. Et aujourd'hui, avec l'explosion des réseaux sociaux, de la mobilité, en fait, s'offre à nous un nouveau paysage d'opportunités avec les systèmes d'information qui n'est plus un travail d'optimisation, mais un travail de connexion. Comment on connecte les employés, les partenaires, les produits au sein de nouveaux business process. Et c'est véritablement le sujet d'aujourd'hui. C'est un sujet de transformation, c'est un sujet de rupture. Nous ne sommes pas réunis aujourd'hui pour parler de porter vos applications actuelles dans le cloud. Nous sommes ici pour réfléchir à comment la technologie du cloud, les technologies d'Internet, permettent de transformer votre système d'information. Et le thème de la journée, c'est la Customer Company, qui est un terme anglais. On a passé beaucoup de temps à se poser la question, est-ce qu'on le traduit ou est-ce qu'on garde ce terme Customer Company? On a pris la décision, donc je pense que nos élus français nous en voudront un petit peu, mais on a gardé le terme Customer Company. Et le thème d'aujourd'hui, il est véritablement la question que se pose tout chef d'entreprise. Quel type de société voulez-vous devenir? Voulez-vous devenir une société connectée? Voulez-vous devenir une société innovante? Vous définissez-vous comme une société mobile, une société agile ou une société digne de confiance? Et à travers tous les dîners, à travers tous les rendez-vous que j'ai faits au cours des derniers jours à Paris, le thème récurrent, c'est « Je veux devenir une société qui met le client au cœur de mon système d'information ». C'est le concept de la Customer Company. Et c'est le travail qu'on va faire aujourd'hui, c'est de réfléchir à comment on peut devenir une Customer Company, comment on met le client au cœur de son système d'information. Et ce n'est pas uniquement le client. Quand on met le client au cœur du système d'information, on est vraiment dans une démarche où le client participe, contribue à vos business process et s'ouvre tout un univers de possibilités où non simplement votre client, vos partenaires, vos produits vont être connectés. et vont contribuer à l'expérience du client. Donc ça va être le thème de la Customer Company, comment je connecte mes clients, comment je connecte mes employés, comment je connecte mes partenaires, comment je connecte mes produits ensemble au sein des mêmes applications pour construire un avantage compétitif, pour réduire mes coûts de fonctionnement et pour offrir une expérience client différenciée. Donc c'est véritablement un agenda de rupture, de transformation que nous allons dérouler au cours des prochaines 90 minutes avec des participants. Vous le verrez, on a un agenda particulièrement excitant en termes de participation. Alors la rupture, la transformation, c'est l'ADN de Salesforce. Salesforce a été créé en 1999 avec une vision très simple, il y a 14 ans, avec un business case très simple. Le business plan de Salesforce en 1999, c'était une ligne. Une ligne qui était sur la première page de leur business plan. Et la ligne, c'était pourquoi les applications d'entreprise ne sont pas comme Amazon. Phrase très simple. À l'époque, on achetait des produits très chers, on appelait des sociétés de conseil, on mettait 2 ans à déployer un ERP, un CRM, et c'était souvent réservé à une élite. Et en même temps, on allait faire ses courses sur Amazon. On se loguait sur l'Internet, on faisait des choses assez compliquées. Et la réflexion, c'était pourquoi mon système d'information ne ressemble pas à Amazon? Pourquoi je dois dépenser des millions, acheter des ordinateurs, acheter du logiciel pour faire des choses qui sont relativement simples? Ça, c'était la vision, et c'est la vision qui a créé le cloud computing. Salesforce a inventé le cloud computing. Aujourd'hui, nous avons la plus grosse conférence en France. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes réunis pour parler du cloud. C'est en fait la plus grosse conférence de cloud computing. Quand nous organisons nos événements à San Francisco, comme Dreamforce, dont on vient de parler, l'an dernier, 70 000 personnes étaient inscrites à Dreamforce. Ce sont les plus grosses conférences de cloud computing. Nous avons inventé le cloud computing. Et nous avons le plaisir aujourd'hui d'avoir parmi nous un des fondateurs de la société, une des personnes qui a inventé le cloud computing, en fait, la personne qui a développé Salesforce, le premier développeur de Salesforce, le cofondateur, la personne qui dirige la technologie Salesforce. Donc, je vous demande de faire un warm welcome à Parker Harris. Parker, welcome.
Merci beaucoup.
Parker, welcome. Donc, Parker est mon patron, donc soyez très gentils avec lui.
Merci beaucoup, Alex. Je suis très heureux d'être ici.
Voilà, donc Parker s'est engagé, pendant tous nos meetings de préparation à San Francisco, oui. Parker s'est engagé à faire une présentation en français aujourd'hui à Paris.
Je ne pense pas tout en français. J'ai pratiqué, tu sais que j'ai parlé beaucoup de français pendant les 3 journées dernières. Mais je pense que je vais être plus à l'aise si je peux parler en anglais. Ça va?
Ça va? Vous va si on bascule en anglais?
Merci beaucoup.
Donc Parker, merci d'être là. Tu as fait partie des fondateurs de la société, tu as eu la vision du cloud computing et aujourd'hui tu vas pouvoir nous partager avec l'audience quelle est ta vision pour les années futures et les grandes ruptures dans le monde de l'informatique. Merci Parker.
Merci. Bienvenue tout le monde. Et maintenant, je vais changer en anglais. So, I'm very happy to be here. You know, we started Salesforce.com 14 years ago, and it was an idea of doing something different, using the internet as a distribution model to sell software and to have people. It was easier to use, it was faster, and it shouldn't. You know, software should not be that complex or that hard to use. And we're very happy that we've seen such great success, and that success is because of all of you, our customers. We are a $3 billion company today. We're the fastest growing out of the top 10 software companies in the world. We're the fastest growing company. And we're the fastest growing because our customers are using our service so much. We have 78 billion transactions a quarter now. 78 billion requests are coming to our service, and that makes me sometimes nervous, but I know that we can provide a great service to our customers. Companies like Cisco and Google and Merrill Lynch, and great companies that you'll hear about today, like AXA and Renault and Pernod Ricard, which will be you'll hear that later in the show. And we've received many awards over the years. Gartner has recognized us as the #1 CRM vendor, #1 in sales, #1 in service. Amazing. And we've also been recognized, and this is something that's very important to me, as one of the top innovators in the world. And that's something that we have to do to keep earning your business, to keep creating the service that you need, to change all of you into customer companies. Now, another thing that we did, which was something we did when we started the company, it was very easy to do. We created a foundation, a nonprofit foundation. And you heard earlier one of the nonprofits on stage. And we put 1% of our equity, 1% of our equity into this nonprofit. That was really easy because the company was worth nothing. So we just put 1% of our equity in, no problem. We put 1% of our time in. We were 3 people. We didn't really accomplish much then, but look what we've accomplished today. 445,000 hours of time our employees have been given back to the community. And that's not just where we started the company in San Francisco. It's in places like here, in Paris, in Tokyo. All over the world, we're giving back. It's part of what we do. And we give our service away for free to nonprofits. It's something that we've done that really, instead of waiting to be successful and giving back, we give back along the way. Our employees really love that. They give 6 days off a year to any nonprofit that they want. And we're trying to get other companies in the world to do the same thing, to change and give back, because we can do that for the world. And all of you need to help the nonprofits that you know, that you work with, because they need your help. Now, I'm also very excited to talk a little bit about the investment that we're doing here in Europe. You know, Europe, last fiscal year, was the fastest growing region for Salesforce.com. We're so excited about being here in France and being here in Europe. We just announced recently a data center as part of the investment that we're doing. We have a European data center that we've announced. We have a contract now with NTT Communications, NTT Europe. We will be creating that data center as we speak, and it will go live in early 2014. Great announcement. But not only that, we're also here today to announce that we've opened an R&D center in Grenoble. Super exciting. Also very exciting for me because I love to ski. And I don't know if Bruno's around, but he invited me to go see the headquarters of Rossignol. Here's Bruno right here. So thank you for that invitation, Bruno. Very exciting. But you know, Bruno, it can't just be skiing. We also have to do some work sometime. So when I go visit Bruno, we're also going to go visit these amazing employees that we've just hired in this research center in Grenoble, where we can get amazing talent. You know, it's a huge issue for me. I compete with some really amazing companies, Google, for example, and Facebook and Twitter, and it's very hard sometimes to find the right talent. But in Grenoble, we found an amazing pool of talent. They're going to start helping us, for example, with our search engine, but it'll grow from there. And hopefully, you know, if any of you know great employees or great people in Grenoble, please send them our way, because we are growing a center there. And that's obviously our second center. As you heard Alex say earlier, we bought his company in 2008. And we have a research center here in Paris since then. So now I want to talk a little bit about the trends that I see. You know, I talk to a lot of customers, and from talking to those customers and looking at the industry, we're seeing these changes. And one of the biggest changes we're seeing is around the Internet of Things. And what is that? Well, years ago, there were only thousands of computers, and there were mainframes, and they were connected with terminals to an SNA network. And then that kind of transformed, and there were millions of computers. And that was the client-server world. And that was where we had servers, and people were putting in desktops, and they were connected over wired networks. They were connected over LANs. But today, that is not the world we live in. I'm sure all of you have mobile devices in your pockets. Those are connected devices. But it's not just the mobile devices these days. It's your car. You're going to hear about Renault later. It's your car that is connected. It's your camera that's connected. Mark Benioff just was telling a story about the Computer Electronics Show. There's a new camera from Canon that basically you take the picture and it goes immediately to your phone. Your phone's becoming the remote control to your world. I have an electric car in San Francisco. It's called a Tesla. I have an app in my pocket. Actually, my phone's over there. I can tell you where my car is right now, if it's charging or not, if it's locked. I could lock it from here in France. I have a remote control in my pocket. And so that's the transformation that we're going on. And there's billions of these devices that are connected. And this has happened every 10 years, every decade. There have been these changes. We started with the mainframe in the 60s, and the mini computer in the 70s. I started in the industry when the client-server computing age came around. And we started Salesforce with the cloud computing age in the 90s, in the early 90s. And we were heavily influenced by Amazon.com. I don't know if you've looked at our interface, but it's very influenced by the Amazon.com experience. We chose to build a service for the internet from the ground up. And we built it with a browser, and we built it with a search engine, not as a traditional piece of software. But then we moved on, and we've seen this change happen where social came in. Facebook, billions of people connected in the world over these social networks. And that's influenced us. It's influenced our user interface. We'll talk a lot about social later today. And then mobility. Mobility, I think, could be one of the biggest trends that's hitting the industry. Imagine that you could do all your work on your phone. You kind of start to expect that with your consumer applications. But where are those amazing enterprise applications? And so these are these trends that are happening today. And I want to go through each of them in more detail. Social, mobile, big data, communities, the application trend. Everyone needs to have an application. Cloud, and finally, trust. These are the trends that I see as I've gone around the world and talked to customers, and as I've worked with my engineers. This is what's influencing us, and I think it's what's influencing you in your businesses. So let's go through each of these. Let's talk about social. There are 4.5 billion people connected in the world on these social networks. Isn't that amazing? On Facebook, on Twitter, on Google+, LinkedIn. And they're connecting in these new ways. People are starting to expect that connective tissue between each other. Companies like Coca-Cola are leveraging that. We've worked with Coca-Cola. They're building these amazing applications on the phone where you can actually take a phone and you can go to a Coke machine and you can buy a Coke from that machine with the phone. And not only that, but the machine knows who you are. The machine knows what kind of Coke you want. They have these new, really amazing machines that mix all the liquids together so you can have your favorite Coke. And then post it to the social networks. So there's amazing connective tissue on these social networks. But you know what? On Facebook, you probably have listened maybe if you read some of the press about Facebook. They have moved completely to focusing on mobility. All of their development is about mobility. And why is that? Because the social networks are being used not on a desktop, not on a laptop. They're being used primarily for mobile devices. Many of you may be posting right now on a social network. And that's why this revolution and this trend of mobility that's hitting us is so important. You know, I have probably half of my entire research team building our service, moving our service, not to a browser on a desktop, not to a browser on a laptop, but to mobile applications and a mobile platform so that you can have the power of our service in your pocket. And then all these devices, the billions of things that are connected, whether it's your phone or your car or your camera, they're connected and they're giving us all this information, all these little bits of information. What are you going to do with that information? You need a place to put it, you need a place to understand it, and that's why we have this revolution of big data. 6 billion connected objects by 2015. Isn't that incredible? Imagine the amount of information coming from that. And imagine what you can learn from that information. Whether it's a mobile application, what's happening to my customers? What are those customers doing that are buying those Cokes, on those Coke machines? Or the Canon camera? How are they using their camera? How am I using my car? All of this information can inform companies on what their customers are doing, what they like, what they dislike, and can make you a better company. It's an amazing revolution. And so one thing I want to show you now is a film of Schneider Electric that talks about the smart grid and their view of the world, and their view of big data. So let me shift to that film and show it to you right now.
Sustainability of our planet is a challenge of our generation. There is a big pressure on the pure efficiencies, on your energy impact. Our job has been to converge the energy world so that people would be connected to their energy environment. So what we need to bring is our best experts of each specialty so that they will integrate the best solution for that customer, the best integrated hospital, the most efficient airport, the greenest house in the world. And Salesforce enables us to connect our experts, make them collaborate, make sure that we maximize the possibilities of Schneider to change totally the paradigm of collaboration.
We started thinking about how to contribute to the transformation of a company, turning energy digital. I mean, a digital world. It covers process efficiency, customer experience, new products and services, people working together.
In a company of more than 100,000 people, we'll connect together and share their passion for this most efficient or safest integrated smart city.
For the first time, with all our subsidiaries, all our businesses using the same platform to exchange opportunities, and Salesforce is the engine, the cornerstone of all the interaction that we're having with our customers.
What our customers are asking is to integrate the full equation of efficiency. Efficiency of the process, of energy, of security, and package it into one very simple environment. The ultimate expression of that is a cockpit of supervision where you can see all of this and you understand the arbitration you are making on your installation. We are connecting people to their environment. We are connecting people to their machines. And everything that Salesforce is doing is helping incredibly. Speaking about connectivity, networks, knowledge management, communities, we need to exchange knowledge on a global scale. There is an interconnection of the social network together with this connection to the unconnected. You can suddenly open to your customers the power of the other customers' network. And they bring the connectivity of their machines into the equation so that everybody can work not only on the theory of the case, but on the practicality of the case. We believe that sustainability is a very noble intention, but the only way to make radical efficiency progress is about technology.
We have been through a huge transformation, and the partnership with Salesforce is a big element when we look at our digital future.